G'day guys, we're up at Proserpine Dam. You would have seen all the videos from Brooksy and Maddie, and we couldn't help ourselves. We had to come up. I haven't caught a barramundi on a frog for maybe 8 years, I think, since the heyday of Kinchant Dam, so was pretty keen to get up here. But we've had 3 days of literally the worst wind that I've ever seen. Guys talk about they went to Faust for a week and could hardly fish because of the wind. And I'm like, really? I've never ever seen that, but I get to experience it firsthand this week. This is day 4, I think, of ridiculous winds, rainy, overcast, terrible weather, but these were the dates we could come, so we're here. So seeing as how it's horrible and windy out, and we're having a little bit of a break for lunch, I thought I'd run through the rig that I'm using and how I'm setting all this up. You ready? Mm-hmm. So the reel is my standard Quantum Smoke S3. This is a size 50 though. So the reel I'm using is the Quantum Smoke S3. This is the size 50. This is probably the biggest in the smokes that I ever run, and I've been using this a lot for barramundi lately. So the rod I'm using is the rod I've been telling you guys about lately in some of my posts. It's the NS Explorer. It's a 731 extra heavy. This thing is a beast. I used this in Callide the other week when I couldn't get the fish out of the timber on my jerkbaiting rod, and I managed to drag a few out with this thing. This is ideal. It's like so light, so well balanced. Like, it's compared to the size of that tiny reel, it's just such a light rod, so easy to use, comfortable foregrip, and just a powerhouse of a rod. To say I'm impressed is an understatement on this thing. So for the line, ran the Sig line in the PE8. It's just a 40 pound. I wouldn't really want to go much heavier because you lose distance on your casting, but with the PE8, it's super soft, this line, and I can cast this frog for miles. And with a tailwind like we've been having, you can literally surf at nearly 100 meters, and it's a weedless frog with no weight. So the leader that I'm running is the FC100 in the 60 pound. In the years gone past, I used to run up as high as 80 pound in my leader, but these days I find that 60 of the FC100, I just cannot break it. It has super high abrasion resistance, and I have yet to be chafed off on 60. I have been on 40 when I choke it on a really big fish, but 60 is fine. You might get a little bit of a scuff above it and you just retie it. So on the business end, as you've all seen on everyone else's videos, using the Z-Man in the hard leg. So the advantage of these over most other toads is that even on a big heavy gauge hook, they'll still float. That buoyancy is enough to just tease those fish, get them interested before you start to take it away from them. So I've been playing around with a lot of different things because I haven't frogged for so long, but I've got it down to that I'm running a loop knot. I found that when I was stalking that barra and I saw him sitting there, and even in these conditions we were able to see some fish, that I'd get that perfect cast in and my frog would be tracking sideways because my knot was fixed to the hook point and would just make it screw off to the side, and then it doesn't swim, or it even laid on its side and wouldn't swim. So we're day 4 in, and I've jumped off several fish. I've had headaches with hooks tangling up, or not so much tangling up, but the position of the frog changing on each of the hooks. And I've finally come down to this combination is my go-to now. This is exactly how I like it and seems to be working the best. So I'm running an Owner Beast in the 6.0. This is the hook that I've come to love now. And one of the main things I like about this hook is the way that the toe point is in line with the hook point, as opposed to being flat. It's actually running, so it sort of forms like a keel when you set that up and you tie a line across it. So one of the hardest things about a Z-Man, obviously as you know, the elasticity is second to none, is getting this thing on this spring. Is one of the hardest things to do. Just have to push it and do at least 2 laps just to get it started half a lap so that it will stay on there. I think I'm on my 3rd lap and it's still not on there. And once you get it started, it's important to make sure it's still running true, otherwise your frog will swim crooked. So you want to have it so that when you twist it in, basically your frog wants to naturally sit straight. That's not quite enough, so I'll give it a little bit more. So that you're not fighting with it every cast, so that's pretty good, like that. Then the final little trick that I've been doing is putting a little bead, half a bead, on the hook. So there's nothing worse than finally stalking up on a fish, getting within casting distance, and the plastic slides down on the hook like that, and it's upside down, doesn't swim. So we've had to prevent that, putting half a bead on the hook. So cut your bead in half, because you just want the flat section of the bead. So feed it onto your hook, pointy section first, and slide it down the gape, like so. Now line your hook up. This one sits, doesn't quite make it to the back of that dent, so fold it forward about 4mm in, pop that through, so that sits beautifully like that, nice and straight sitting, and just get your little bead, just nudge him up there. Now this will not mess up at all, failure proof, every cast, perfect. So all I was going to do was retie that frog, show you how to tie the loop knot, and just looked at my FG. It's been slamming into my runner all morning and all afternoon, so I think I'll swap it out. So I always attach my leader to my main line with an FG knot. It's the only way to go.
Yep.
Cool. No FG tool. Left my FG tool in my GT popping stuff. So with my leader, I'm chasing barramundi on my spin gear. I never really like to bring my leader knot, like my braid to leader knot, into my rod tip when I'm casting. I find the angle that you're winding with a long FG and a stiff leader, it'll slam into the inside of your runner, or when you go to cast, especially like short casts or whatever, you can sometimes, that heavy knot will catch your runners and you might be trying to flick at a barramundi that's right there and end up flicking and going left. So I only ever run probably 3 foot max. At least start with that. By the end of the day, it gets down to probably less than a foot, but it's only there to be chafed off, nothing else. So cut that one off. Now for the knot. This is the only loop knot I know. I don't know what it's called. I just know it doesn't come undone. I've worked out over the last few days, I'm running with the loop knot, much prefer it that way. I have no idea what this loop knot is called. I just know how to tie it and it doesn't break. If you know of a better one, or you can tell me the description of maybe what this one is called, can you write it below so I know for next time? So the deal, granny knot, I guess that's what it's called. Through the hook, back through the granny the same way I come out, pinch that, only go around 3 times because stiff line. Then I like to go back through the granny the same way the other 2 went. Wet it, pull that down. So the other reason I like this loop knot, you'll see the tag end is pointing backwards. So when I trim that off, I don't have any stub pointing sideways, forwards, anything like that, so it's not going to catch any weed. The tag can be snipped off and it's going to allow every weed to go past no matter what. So technically when I do get up on that barra, I shouldn't have any excuses why this thing is not choked. So it's after 2 o'clock. First bite yesterday was at 2:30. So it's our second last day. Time for us to get on the water, see if we can't catch another one. You. Well guys, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. If you want to find out what I'm up to on a day-to-day basis, just jump on any one of my other social media pages. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm constantly putting up a couple of videos a week now to keep you guys entertained. Otherwise, this has been Dean Silvester and Fishing My Way.